Hey guys, welcome to the video, and in today we've got something special on TNT. We are doing my Premier League prediction review. So 9 months ago, at the beginning of the season, we did our Premier League predictions. Unfortunately, I don't have the document that I did it on. However, I have gone back and rewatched the video. The video is up on my YouTube channel if you want to go watch the original and see what I said about each team. But we're going to be reviewing our Premier League predictions, testing how well my ball knowledge was at the start of the season. And I've got a list of other YouTubers who have done their Premier League predictions and reviewed them, and I've got a list, and we're going to compare how well my ball knowledge is to some of the biggest YouTubers such as Simon Minter, Fogden, Angry Gint, Theo Baker, Rory Jennings, Spencer Eyre. There's a lot to get through, but let's get into the Premier League predictions. As you know, 20 clubs in the Premier League: Arsenal, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton, Burnley, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Everton, Fulham, Liverpool, Luton, Man City, Man United, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Sheffield, Spurs, West Ham, and Wolves. Okay, so we've gone on Excel and we've created a spreadsheet. So in this column is the actual Premier League finish. So it was Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Spurs, Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Bournemouth, Fulham, Wolves, Everton, Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Luton Town, Burnley, and Sheffield. And this side was what I predicted the Premier League to be. And we've got a point system. So if I've put a team, so we go example Man City, we put them top. They came top, so that's 0 points. If I said Man City was to come second, but they won the league, that would be a +1. And so forth. So in bottom was Sheffield United. They finished bottom, which means I got 0 points for that. I just noticed I just made a mistake. So in 19th, I put Luton Town, which means that should be actually a +1. +1. For some reason, some of the pluses don't go correct. So Luton Town, they finished 18th, so that's a +1. I put Wolves in 18th. They ended up finishing 14th, so that's a +4 to my total. The reason why I put Wolves was in the relegation zone was because obviously they sacked their manager at the end of the last season. They appointed Gary O'Neill from Bournemouth, who got sacked as well. The loss of Neves, Raul Jimenez, Patricio. I just thought the squad wasn't good enough, and they proved me wrong. This is what predictions are about. You're never going to get 100% correct, and well done to Wolves. In 17th was Nottingham Forest, and I got that correct, so that's 0 points. So that's 2 teams already I've got correct. In 16th, I put Bournemouth, and they surprised everyone yet again. They came 12th. I thought Bournemouth, they surprised everyone last year, and I thought second season syndrome. They're not going down, but they will be very close. And they proved me wrong, so fair play. Bournemouth. In 15th, I put Everton. Everton did 15th. Obviously, we all know they had a point reduction. If they hadn't, they would have finished 12th. and I would have been a +3. However, that point deduction played into my favour, and it is 0 points for Everton. In 14th, I put Burnley. And this was because I thought they stormed the Championship. Obviously, it's two different leagues, but the way they played the football was so good. I thought that Company would get them clicking. I thought Company worked under Guardiola. We'd see something like Arteta. Obviously, Arsenal and Burnley are two different complete qualities, but the managerial sense, I thought he would be able to do something with that team. And I was wrong. They finished 19th. They're going straight back down to the Championship. And all three newly promoted teams have gone down this season. So we're going to have to take that into account to next season. So that would fall. Crystal Palace, 13th. A +2. Now, Palace, you never know where they're going to finish. I said lowest they would be 13th when I did my predictions. The highest I did say was 11th. They ended up finishing 10th. So it's not a bad prediction. It's a +2. +2. But Palace had a great end to the season. And Palace is one of those teams where you're either going to get it right or you're going to be 1 or 2 points off. Fulham, 13th. I put them in 12th. They finished 13th. So I'm minus 1 point because they finished one place above what I was they finished. Yeah, not too much to say. They lost Mitrovic. They bought Raul Jimenez from Wolves, which was the reason why I put Wolves so far down. They did well. It's mid-table finish. That is what they're expected to do, really. And it's a good season. 11th, Brighton. -15. They ended up finished 16th. Now, obviously, at the time, we knew Tony was going to be suspended. But I thought with the team that they already had, that it would be fine. We knew he was coming back in January. And I really thought he would come back and start clicking. He did look like he would in the first 2 or 3 games that he came back. But after that, there was no real signs. And I'm actually so surprised that he actually made the England squad. The 32-man squad. Because personally, I would have gone Solanke. But yeah, so Brentford, for most people on the list of people who did predictions, Brentford was a huge points for many teams. I put 10th West Ham, and that's a +1. They finished 9th. So, very close. I said that the Europa League would play a part in their season. I didn't think David Moyes would be the right manager, and it is confirmed that he will be leaving now it is the end of the season, he will be leaving. I'm surprised. I did say when I did predictions, I wouldn't be surprised if he got sacked. He didn't get sacked, but he did a good job. West Ham got to the semi-finals, I believe. They played Leverkusen in the semi-finals. So they did very well in Europa League. And yeah, they finished 10th. They finished 9th. I put them 10th. It's a +1. Not too bad. Spurs. I put them 9th. They ended up finishing 5th and getting Europa League. And the main reason is obviously Harry Kane. I wasn't convinced Richarlison would be able to step up. And he hasn't really, but Son, Kulusevski, they've all played very important Son obviously playing striker in some games, and they've done very well. If you told me, you lose a 30-goal scorer every season and you still make Europa League, I think Spurs would have jumped at that at the beginning of the season, because many people predicted them not to finish in Europa League. So I put my hands up. Spurs, you are shit, but you proved me wrong. 8th, Brighton. They finished 11th. It's a -3. And I thought 8th was a good prediction, especially with Conference League, I want to say, they were playing in. Well, they were playing either Conference League or Europa League. And I thought they had a good chance of going on and winning that competition. De Zerbi is a great manager. He's leaving at the end of the season. And I think that just kind of demotivated them. No, he announced it in about February that he was leaving, so they weren't really playing for anything, and it's just a poor season. It's a -3. Aston Villa 7th. Now everyone in the predictions has got this wrong. No one would have predicted Aston Villa to get Champions League football. I put them 7th to get Conference League yet again, because they were in the Conference League and they went to the semi-finals of the Conference League. I thought they were going to win the Conference League. Semi-finals is good, but I predicted them to get 7th again because of how good their squad is. They've got young players. Emre is a great coach, and I thought the distraction of Europa League wouldn't push, Conference League wouldn't push them up, but they wouldn't go anywhere down. No one would have predicted they would go to the semi-finals and get Champions League football. So Aston Villa, well done. 6th, I put Newcastle. They finished 7th, so it's only a -1. I'm happy with that. Again, they were playing Champions League football this season. They went straight out the group. They had the group of death with PSG, Dortmund, and Athlet. Was it Athlet? I don't know. There was someone else, wasn't there? But yeah, they went straight out, the same as Man United, which we'll get on to later. But they had Champions League football to deal with, and I said that was going to hinder their season. And it kind of has. They will be playing in. I found the group, guys. So they had Dortmund, PSG, and Milan. They finished rock bottom in the group. The group of death, the hardest one they had the hardest group in the league, Champions League, which is unfortunate for their first time back in Champions League. But yeah, they finished 7th. I predicted 6th, -1 point. Not too happy, not too bad about that. I put Chelsea 5th, and they ended up finishing 6th. And the reason why I put Chelsea 5th was because they didn't have any European competition. They couldn't be any worse than the last season they had. It looked very rough at the beginning of the season, but they managed to fight their way back. They managed to overtake Man United, even though many people were mugging Chelsea off for being a mid-table mandem. They came back. They have officially sacked Pochettino. I believe it was yesterday the news came out that Poch was leaving, which I think is very surprising, especially that he turned them around to get Europa League football. But who knows what is running at that club. And I can't say for sure next season. I don't even know where I'm going to put them. In 4th, I put Liverpool. They actually finished 3rd. And I think I would have got this right if I hadn't. I don't think I would. I don't think I would have got Liverpool wrong if I hadn't hoped Man United would have a great season. I looked at Man United last year. They finished third cup and two cup finals. I thought Ten Hag's cooking. He will do it again, and that's the reason why I put Liverpool fourth, was because of their midfield not being as good as previous. But they proved me wrong, and Man United, you disgrace me. So Liverpool finished third. It's a +1. Moving on to third, I put United. Like I said, I thought Ten Hag was cooking last season. No one would have predicted the amount of injuries Man United would have had this season. If you look at the stats, 23 different combinations in the back four. If you compare that to Arsenal, they only had a back three difference of 3. 24 different players at the centre back and left back and right back combination throughout the season. That is unbelievable. Now, I said at the beginning of the season I wasn't too happy with the amount of the quality of the signings Ten Hag made, but no one could have predicted how poor United would be. They finished 8th, the worst season since Sir Ferguson has left. But no one could have thought of the injuries crisis Man United would have. Arsenal, I put second. They came second. I really wanted Arsenal to win the league over Man City. But they just came too short. And they did a lot better than I thought. Who would have thought it would have come down to the last day of the season? Now, that could be compared to Man City not being at the quite level they have been previously, especially without De Bruyne. But you got to give it to Arsenal. They fought all the way, so close, and I would have gone crazy, even as a United fan, if they had stopped Man City winning it 4th in a row. And finally, I predicted Man City to go top of the Premier League. It's annoying as a United fan. They've done something that no other team has ever done in history now. Hopefully, they get charged with the 115 charges of financial fair play and breaking rules, and they get relegated. Until then, they will win the league every season until something is done about that. Like I said, they didn't have De Bruyne, and it was a lot closer than people suspected. But they've done it again. We have to see whether Guardiola wants to stay next season. Hopefully he doesn't, and it might give other teams a chance to finally dethrone Man City's dominance, or they get relegated for unfair financial play. That would be good. Which means my total points is 40 points. Now, if we compare that to other football predictions on YouTube, Spencer FC, 48 points. Simon Minter from the Sidemen, 46 points. Statman Dave, 46 points. Theo Baker has a football podcast, 46 points. Angry Ginge, 64 points. Matt SB, 54 points. Rory Jenkins, diehard Chelsea fan, 40 points. So on YouTube, there is only 3 people that I've seen with a better score than I got. That is Fogdan and Fogden, who got 38 points. I'm 2 points behind them. And with 34 points was FNG. Best on YouTube so far. Obviously, we're expecting probably more people to release their Premier League predictions today or tomorrow. But I've done very well, guys. 40 points. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correct positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams with just a plus or minus 1 difference in position. Obviously, the Burnley, the United, and Brentford, both +5s on all of them. -5s, sorry. They cost me so many points. 15 points. But who would have predicted Brentford to have as bad season as they had? Burnley is probably my fault. I've overestimated company. But Man United, who would have thought they'd been so poor on the pitch, but also how many injuries they would have had. But that is my Premier League predictions review. Let me know in the comments down below how many points you got. How many positions did you get correct? Who you predicted to win the Premier League? And if you have already, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps me out. And I can't wait to do my Premier League 24-25 season predictions next in September. Remember, it is a prediction, guys. We're never going to get anything 100% correct. I did very well to get 5 positions correct. 6, only 1 point difference. But it is guesswork. It is personal opinions. And I'm going to make mistakes. So let me know in the comments, how well did you do? What you predicted? And make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Peace out.